So there's a line in this week's episode where somebody says like, well, if there is an intruder among us, and I couldn't help but notice the fact that they use the word among us. And if that's the case, might I just say that Michiru is really third impostering very hard. But with that said, hello everybody, welcome back to the channel, welcome back to another one of our weekly Talentless Nana discussion videos. Today we're talking all about episode 8, Talented versus Talentless part 3, but before we get into the video proper, quick reminder if you haven't done so yet, to hit that subscribe button, ring that bell, set notifications to all, and let all of AnyTube know that you're here. So with that said, what do you say we go ahead and actually dig into this week's episode? And okay, I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I am broadcasting to you live from the forest in which I swear every one of these kills happens. I feel like most of the kills happen in this forest. This is like the Forbidden Forest from Harry Potter. Like, you just do not want to be here. I tripped over a zombie on the way to record this. It was not pleasant. Anyway, yeah, let's go ahead and actually dig into this week's episode. Starting with the fact that I should address some things that I said last week that some of you got like really like kind of laughably upset about. Yeah, I think a lot of the characters act kind of stupid. It's just the way I feel. If that upsets you, then I think that's also kind of stupid. It's just an opinion. I don't know why y'all are so upset. I actually got people legitimately telling me that I should stop covering the show, and that like, I don't like the show, so why am I talking about it? Bro, do you really think if I didn't like the show, I'd still be here? I'm the same dude who dropped, like, Toilet Bound Hanako, despite the fact that it was getting big views, because I didn't like it. So if I didn't like Talentless Nana, I wouldn't be talking about it. At this point, I am still enjoying it, just not for the same reasons that some of you guys might be. At this point, I'm just curious to see where it goes, and I'm mostly just kind of having a laugh every time Nana does something that, like, should have gotten her caught, and yet somehow she manages to get away as usual. And at this point, it's just kind of funny to me. Like, I'm not even upset by it. It just kind of makes me laugh, and I understand that some of you guys might be annoyed by that. And, like, listen, I totally respect that. If you guys like the show and don't want to hear me ragging on it, that's fine. For the same reasons that you guys think that I should stop covering the show because I don't like it, when in actuality I do, if you don't like these videos, don't watch the video. With that said, I should state that Nana's plan this week, like her big play, was legitimately pretty awesome. I was like legitimately shocked. She actually manages to put together a pretty intricate plan. I thought it was really solid, honestly. Her catching Habu off guard was like legitimately, at first I was like, oh, that seems kind of like ridiculous. Like, how did she spot her in the woods all by herself? And then when Habu explains that she has to cut class sometimes, not because she necessarily wants to, even though she probably does, but because she needs to find like reptiles and stuff because of her power. Like, the way her power works, she needs to eat them, which is terrifying, but she needs to eat them in order to like keep going, because her power actually gives her like poisonous saliva, which is like a little messed up. And she tells Nana this, and of course Nana's like, aha, I can use this. And I was like, yes, Nana, you can. That's actually legitimately very clever. And the fact that Habu just so happens to be having an argument with Kaori, the other gal, Garu character in the show. And I was like, of course they're having an argument right now. Of course, why wouldn't they? But still, it's like, whatever. Like, again, it just makes me laugh. Like, at this point, whatever plot contrivance comes up, I'm like, ah, of course that would happen. Yeah. So, like, of course they're having a fight. So I'm like, yeah, okay, whatever. So they're having a fight. And in fairness, yeah, is it contrived? For sure. But the way that Nana actually plays this is really smart, because she knows that Kyoya is onto her. So the way that she's going to outthink him is by being in the same like vicinity as him, and then have a kill happen while she's with him. That is very clever. I was like legitimately really shocked. And like the way that she kills Habu too is like really upsetting. Like, it's like kind of shocking the way how cold Nana is. Like, you forget how cold she can be, because for the last few weeks, like, we actually have seen a human side to Nana. And so, like, when she kills, Kaori, sorry, but also Kaori, yeah, but when she kills Habu, it's messed up. And I don't know if you could see her back there. Shh, don't tell her, but they're back there. The whole gang's back there. I don't know if you can quite see. Maybe if I lean this way, you can kind of see them. They're in the background there. Don't tell them I'm here. But yes, kudos to you, Nana. Well done. For a very solid play. I was legitimately impressed, especially the way that she used the eye drop. Because like in the OP, we see like the eye contact container, right? And I was always like, how the hell are we gonna get a kill out of that? That doesn't even make any sense. But we did, and it was legitimately very clever. In fact, this whole episode reminded me of one of my favorite series of all time. Some of you might know that it's my favorite because I've made those Hogwarts sorting hat videos on them, and that is Danganronpa. This kill was very Danganronpa-y. The only thing missing was the "a body has been discovered" line. It was legitimately very solid. I was very impressed with how Nana managed to weave her way through this until the closing argument. Once again, much like Danganronpa, we actually get what I felt was very similar to like a closing argument. We even get like sort of like that sort of like chibi art style version of what happened as the MC. Well, in this case, it's not the MC. Kyoya is not the MC, but he's one of the MCs. He's like the deuteragonist. But like in Danganronpa, usually like the MC will talk about how the kill happened, and it's with this little like comic book panel thing. And here it's sort of the same. It's like this sort of chibi style explanation of how the kill went down. I was like, wow, this is very Danganronpa. Like this episode wears a lot of the Danganronpa influence on their sleeve. And I'm not one to like knock influence. Like I don't really care if some people say like, oh, it feels too much like blah blah blah. I like that. Like I like Danganronpa, so of course I'm gonna be like, hell yeah, I want to see some Danganronpa style influence in this show. I honestly feel like the show could really use some Danganronpa style influence, especially in like the whole scheme, or the scheme department rather. And honestly, the more I think about it, the more I kind of wish that a lot of the kills were like Danganronpa, where like it was just like different students instead of just Nana. Like I feel like that could have been really cool. Like if we had like Danganronpa with superpowers, like that'd be really dope. Instead, it's just Nana kind of fumbling her way through. There's even like when Kyoya starts to deliver the closing argument, there's like a moment where Nana's like, oh my god, how could I have been so foolish? He saw right through me. You fool. You didn't think that by opening the window, the weird window, the wrong way, he would see right through you. Oh, I messed up. Oh, I messed up bad. Nana. Nana, you've been messing up this entire show. Like, what are you talking about? Like, right now, you finally messed up. Oh no, I finally slipped up. And even Kyoya says, like, you're gonna slip up eventually. One of these days, you're gonna slip up. And, like, she slips up here, and the show's sort of, like, implying, like, ah, yes, the first time, finally. Nana slips up, like, bro, she's been slipping up this whole time. Like, I don't know what you're talking about. But it did, again, it made me laugh, so I was like, whatever. And again, I'm mostly here because I want to see how this plays out. I love Kyoya, and I just kind of want to see who makes it out of this. I like the ice dude and the fire dude, even though they're kind of stupid, but like that's sort of why they're endearing. Michiru is kind of just bugging me, if I'm honest. She's, as I said at the beginning, she is third impostering so hard, and if you know that phrase, you know what I mean, and she really is. I know that she's sweet, and I know that it's not her fault, but like, she is kind of bugging me, and I do feel a bit bad about that because she is such a sweet character. But like every time she's like, leave her alone, I'm like, shut up. But yeah, as I said, the closing arguments happen, and I was surprised by how Kyoya actually manages to trick Nana into like fessing up, because he's like, you and Kaori were friends, right? And Nana's like, nah, I mean, we weren't really friends at all, actually. And he's like, oh, that's interesting because, you know. And then Nana's like, I mean, we were totally friends friends this whole time. Okay, well, she doesn't say that, but she says like, oh no, I've been here before. I've been here once, you know, to talk about like bullying and stuff because they were bullies. Yeah, totally. That's totally what happened. I'm so screwed. Because yeah, the way the window thing works, it's one of those like her window's busted. So like the way it opens is with the like the way it shouldn't open. Like the window that's further back that's normally locked shut is the one that opens as opposed to the one that should slide. So Kyoya's like, oh, that's interesting because you went for that one first. So it's like, oh, Kyoya, you got her. And on top of that too, my thing that I was like, this is what's gonna tip Kyoya off is the fact that Nana puts her hands in her pockets at one point when they're burning the bodies. I have been watching this show for 8 episodes, I have never once seen Nana put her hands in her dang pockets, and I think Kyoya also noticed that. In fact, he pretty much says, like, you've been putting your hands in your pockets a lot since we got here. And it's funny because, like, to me, I was like, oh my god, they actually got her. Like, he actually got her, because every argument that she had, there's a counterpoint to it. The only one that, like, maybe could slip him up is like, well, how did I open the phone? And he's like, you could have either gotten her fingerprint, as Michiru said, you could have tricked her into giving you her passcode. There's like that doesn't matter. There's like a million different ways that you could have opened that phone. And he basically has her like every way. And on top of that, he says, and I've been keeping an eye on you since we started. So there's no point, at any point during this time that we've spent together, during this day, that you could have ditched that phone. So I'm gonna search you now, and I'm gonna find that phone. And I swear to God, if Kyoya searches her and doesn't find the phone, I'm gonna be pissed. Like, I'm not pissed. I'm not gonna be like, and this show makes me so mad. It's just gonna be like, are you kidding me? Because, like, to me, I'm like, okay, this is really interesting, because she's totally gonna get caught here. And we haven't seen the other character yet. So, and we've only got, I think, what? There's episode 9, 10, 11, 12. So 4 episodes left to go. You could do something really interesting where Nana is suddenly like, oh no, everybody figured it out. And so now Nana's on the run and she's got to like kill on the move and stuff like that. Like, that's really interesting. Or you can have it so that like the higher ups come and they're the ones who give Nana a hand. Or like they try to explain away something. Like they try to explain all of this away or something like that. Like, if she doesn't get caught, I'm gonna laugh my ass off, because like at that point I'm like, okay, she is like broken. Her luck is broken if that's the case. But I guess for the most part, we'll just have to wait and see. I am very excited. There's also another line in the episode that interests me, was when they're burning the bodies. Nana says like, oh, it's too bad. You missed your opportunity to find your sister. And I was like, first of all, that's mean. But second of all, I'm like, damn, that's a good point. I saw some people saying, like, what if it's not Nana's clone, but Kyoya's sister? And that's kind of an interesting idea. Like the body we saw last week that looked like Nana, what if that was his sister? And we do know that Kyoya said, like, there is, like, a resemblance. So that could be it. Like, they have a similar hairstyle. I do think it's a little too similar for it to be, like, not a clone. Or at least, like, maybe Nana is a clone of Kyoya's sister, and Kyoya knew this whole time and just hasn't said anything. That could be interesting, actually. I don't super know. What I do know is I'm very excited to see where this goes, and I'm very excited to read the comments that tell me that I'm a big jerk for, you know, not taking the show seriously anymore. Or something or other. I don't really know. But with that said, everybody, that is going to wrap up today's video here, so I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, don't forget to boop that up snoot, share if you care, leave a comment down below, and of course, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring that bell and set notifications to all to let all of AniTube know that you're here. And of course, as always, I have to give a big thank you to the good folks in the T Squadron. Look at these beautiful people. Look at all these beautiful names, and hey, if you would like to join these beautiful people, there are now 2 ways to do so. The first is by hitting that Patreon link in the description, and the second is by hitting that join button right beside the sub button. It gets you a badge next to your name, some emotes to spam in the comments, and of course your name scrolling past this screen here. So if that sounds cool to you, go ahead and hit that join button or check out the Patreon link. Either way, it is super appreciated. With that said, everybody, that's it for me. I am gonna get the heck out of this forest. I don't like it here, even though I'm Hobbit-like, so you think I would like the forest, but I've seen so many zombies out here. It's too spooky. I gotta go. So, until next time, you stay classy, AniTube, and you wash your dang hands.